Hi guys, welcome to the webinar, and I really appreciate your time and patience for this 1 hour which you are going to spend with us, and I hope it will be fruitful for you guys and you will be getting a lot of takeaways from this, right? So let's jump in to the webinar today. So what we are going to see is like an exact collaboration between 3i and CoreStack, right? So where we are trying to take you a journey on a managed services model that is going to be presented from 3i Infotech and about the cloud and governance and a lot of other automation possibilities from CoreStack where we have tied up with our strategic partner, right? So let's jump on with our basic introduction, right? Uh, Next slide, please. Okay, so the panelist contains two people. One is myself. My name is Subramani Sundaram. I'm part of 3i Infotech. I'm a senior technical manager and I handle cloud, DevOps, and other areas of expertise on 3i Infotech, where we also take care of this complete managed services and other things. And I have my colleague, Arsalan. Arsalan, please.
Thank you. So, guys, my name is Arsalan Syed. I'm a senior sales engineer at CoreStack. I'm based in Dubai, and I'm basically more doing a pre-sales work, giving a webinar demo, as well as working with the partners. Thank you.
Thank you, Arsalan. So let's jump on to today's session about company overview of 3i Infotech. I hope you guys would have known about 3i Infotech. It's like a 25-year-old company with around 6,000 plus employees, and we are around 4 continents, and we have an offices across 15 countries, and we have around 850 plus active clients across. And I mean, like we are $100 million company, and we also deal with a lot of customers and industries such as insurance, BFS, telecom, and government as well, right? So more about our 3i Infotech is like we also deal a lot on managed services and about the cloud journeys and the latest technologies like what do you call an IoT, robotics, and quantum engineering. So we are also doing a lot of futuristic approaches as part of our company as well, right? Next slide, please. So how are we different in the market? So why do we choose 3i as a managed services partner? And how are we actually different from the other global MNCs across in the world, right? So we, as I said, like we take care of the superior technology stack like 5Gs, IoTs, blockchains, assay products, and other things. And also we have a robust intrusive technology solutions that we are working on day-to-day basis. And we also have a lot of engagement flexibilities that you will be getting out of it. And we have an excellent agile workforce which will get adapted to any client situations, and we'll be happy to explain and we'll be happy to provide a lot of solutions for a lot of customers across the world. And we have a global presence, as I told you about. We are spread across 4 continents with 15 plus more countries, right? So we have a global local presences in whichever countries or continents we need as part of our business. And it is very easy to work with 3i, right? So because you'll be able to get a revenue on investment on the day one itself. Like it's just like you just need to get in 3i, buy our managed services model, and then from the day one, boom, you will be able to get a lot of engagements and a lot of ROIs, and you'll be able to see exact results, right? So that's a guarantee that we can give it from a 3i Infotech, because we have that much of expertise and we have that much of stack in our place. That's a differentiation of 3i in the market, right? Next slide, please. So these are some of the offerings, right? So what 3i is actually going to give you. So as I said, we have multiple portfolios. One is a digital IMS, which is infrastructure management system, where we have a lot of cybersecurity systems and we give a lot of value add on this. And we have a global command center across 10 to 15 countries that we operate, right? So we have a global command center in each and every country we need. And this global command center also is inclusive of your NOC and SOC, which is Network Operative Center and Security Operative Center as part of that. And we also deal with a lot of futuristic technologies, as I mentioned before, about your IoTs and AI, ML, 5G, blockchain, quantum, and a lot of other things that we are doing it as part of our POCs. We have a separate team called a Center of Excellence. We actually deal as part of our regular activities. And we also have a digital KPAS and BPAS as part of our BPO standards as well. And there is a specialized team called as AAA team, which is Application Automation and Analytics, right? So this team mainly focuses on application modernization, digital transformation, and automation and analytics. So this is an area where a lot of data engineering, data scientists, and a lot of other innovative things that is part of this particular team that we have it. And obviously the team where I belong to is cloud first team. So we are leading cloud providers in the market where we handle multi-cloud, and we also do a lot of services on the cloud such as VDI services, cybersecurity services, lift and shift services, transformation services, digital journey to a company, and modernizing an entire application stack for the particular company in any cloud, whatever it is. So these are all some of the offerings from our 3i Infotech. Right. Next slide, please. Okay. So this we call it as a cloud adoption in a box, right? So why we say cloud adoption in a box is nothing but uh, consider it as a box where you have all the clouds kept in place, like an Azure, Google, and AWS, and whatever cloud it is, right? So what exactly we are doing as part of 3i? We will be able to give you a complete solution on whatever clouds you need. Let it be a disaster recovery service, let it be a DevOps service, let it be a lift and shift migration, let it be an Office 365 migration, whatever it is. We will try to give you a complete advisory of what exactly you need to do it on a cloud, and how do we handle the workload migration, how do we do this cost optimization, how do you do a cloud management services. Like for example, I have some of my critical applications on Azure, I have some of my critical applications on AWS. So how do I connect between these two clouds? How do I handle it in a more effective way? How do I take care of my API management? How do I make sure like the API calls that I'm making publicly outside is safe and secure, right? So we are doing this all as part of your cloud management optimization. And how do you do your auto scaling? How do you continuously track your expenses and futuristic approaches and other things? And also, how do you self heal, right? So if your application on a production goes down, how does it automatically heals it? And how do you get a real time notifications? How about your monitoring? And what is your vulnerability assessment on different clouds, right? And what is the CI/CD automations? How do you do an infrastructure as a coding? So a lot of things compiled in one box, which we called as cloud adoption in a box, right? So if any company or any project that needs a cloud transformation journey, they can very well approach us, and we will be using this concept of cloud adoption in a box, where we will try to take you into a different journey, right? And that gives you a complete aspect of how this cloud adoption in a box is going to help you out, and how can you see visibly change in phase by phase manner, right? Next slide, please. Okay, so as we said, we deal with multiple clouds, right? And we are a Microsoft Gold partner, especially, and we have a specialized COE, which is Center of Excellence, specifically to take care of Microsoft, right? So we deal with a lot of Office 365 migrations. We deal especially on Azure migrations. We deal a lot of automations on Azure DevOps, and we have a centralized COE where we are part of it, and where we do a lot of innovations and a lot of latest technologies that we need to do it. And we also do a lot of app modernizations, like for example, converting a Java or a .NET applications into a container, into a Kubernetes mode. And how do you do this Office 365 migrations, like for example, Exchange on-prem to cloud, and SharePoint on-prem to cloud, and Dynamics 365 migrations, and maybe a mailbox or whatever it is, like whatever the things that is taking care of this Office 365 suite, we will be able to handle it. And how do you do a data and analytics, like for example, data factory migrations or data bricks? How do you create a Python notebooks, and how do you create a CI/CD pipelines for data factory and data bricks aspects? And how do you do Synapse and reporting and Power BI processing and other things? How do you do a digital modernization? How do you do a CI/CD aspects using Azure DevOps? So we deal with a lot of industries such as BFS, insurance, education, and emerging, and we have partnered with our existing ecosystems such as CoreStack, Site 24/7, Aqua. So these are all some of our valuable partners whom we have tied up to make sure like the strategic journey of this managed services to provide to the end customers is like as successful as possible, right? So this is not only about the Microsoft. Whatever I've explained to you is the things that we do for AWS, the things that we do specifically for Oracle, and for whatever technologies it is. Let it be a VMware, let it be an Oracle, Azure, and other things. So we do the same things what I've explained to you on Microsoft side, right? That's our specialty. That's our capability of providing a managed services to the end customers. How are we going to treat it? And how are we going to give an extra services that the customer wants from us? Like, for example, if a customer is actually giving us an option to migrate from one application to another application, our job doesn't even end thus, right? So it's not like, okay, we are coming in, we are converting an application from this to that, and then, okay, my job is done. No, we will be providing an extra services by taking care of the application, by monitoring it end to end, by giving you a proper reports, by analyzing it and giving you a cost optimizations and giving you an extra governance, the basically GRC policy, which we call it as governance, risk and compliance, and how do you adapt to your auditing mechanisms. So we will also give you as a suite, right, along with our managed services. That's why we have partnered with a lot of ecosystems over here, right? Next slide, please. Okay, so this is a journey which I was telling about, right? So how this journey works from 3i Infotech, if we were given an option to do a managed services on the cloud or DevOps or any of the other stacks, right? What we first do is like, we don't just come in and then do a lift and shift. No, as I said before, we will do a groundwork. We will do a discovery phase, right? So what exactly is your current systems? Even if you guys don't have any architecture currently, right? We will try to create an architecture. We have a lot of tools that will help you to create your existing architecture if some artifacts are missing, right? So I've worked with many projects where they don't even have an architecture in place, right? It might be like an old systems where they don't even know how to create an architecture diagrams, or it can be a solution architecture diagrams, or it can be a dependency matrix diagram. So there are a lot of tools that we have it as part of our COE, which is Center of Excellence, where we can try to create your existing architecture. We will try to discover our analysis, like, okay, this is what your current structure is. And if you need to move from this to that, then you need to handle this 1, 2, 3, 4 dependencies. You need to have this 1, 2, 3, 4 application stack. And these are all the people that we need to have as part of our ongoing journey and other things. And if both of us are satisfied and if you're ready to onboard with us on the journey, then the next step comes to us is an optimizing it. How do we optimize it? Okay, and it's not like, okay, I'm just trying to screw up your entire production and other things. No, it should be a win-win situation. So we will first do a testing analysis. We will first do it on a lower environments, and if it is 100% satisfied and if you are able to get the results, then we will try to do it on a production system slower by slower, right? And then we will properly follow all the process. We will follow all the DevOps mechanisms. We will also implement certain security features, certain FinOps features, and other things with the help of our strategic partners. And also the next step is like to operate it. Okay, I have discovered it, I have optimized it. Next, I'm going to operate it. Is my applications working fine? Am I able to monitor the traffic? Am I able to troubleshoot it? Am I getting the proper vulnerabilities? How do I automate it with my IT service management tools, such as ServiceNow or Jira or Remedy or whatever it is? And how do I make sure like I assign it to a proper ticketing queue? And how do I use a performance-based monitoring, or what is the extra things that we can provide you as part of your service? Once after everything is done, then comes your run business, which is your day-to-day activities, right? So you will be trying to do a normal day-to-day operations, and cloud doesn't end there, right? Cloud ends only when you stop innovating, right? So because day by day, whatever cloud it is, Azure or AWS or Oracle or Google, every day they are inventing new services, right? So how do you innovate it? How do you make sure you're still optimizing it? How do I make sure like I'm trying to automate end to end? Am I able to get all the governance, risk, and compliance in place? Am I able to get all the auditing in place? Am I able to get all the vulnerabilities fixed? So the run business is nothing but day by day keep on innovating, day by day make sure like I'm trying to find out something new. So this journey we will try to be part of your particular team, and we will help them to onboard from zero to the run, right? So even though we don't have any documentations, even though if we don't have any stack, we will try to build you that. We will give you a complete reports, we will give you a complete documentations, we will help you to go on to this milestone journey from zero till how it goes on to the run business, right? So that's the promise that 3i is going to give you as part of your managed services. And along with that, as I told you, we also have tied up with multiple partners like CoreStack and Site 24/7 and other people to help us on this complete migration and optimization and managed services journey, right? So this, we will not just lift and shift, as I said, this will be safely done, securely done, and optimizedly done. So that is our value add that we give it as part of your 3i Infotech, right? Next slide, please. Okay, so now once after I do it, that is for my cloud journey, right? Okay, what happens if I'm not into cloud? Okay, I'm not, or what happens if I'm already into cloud, right? I don't want to do anything on the cloud, but still I want to do some automation. Okay, how can I just do an automation? That's where your DevOps as a service comes into the picture, right? As the name indicates, DevOps is nothing but doing an automation on any tools, any platform, any code, any language. That's what DevOps is, right? Let it be any language, Java, .NET, Perl, Python, whatever it is, okay? And let it be any platform, whether it's a Windows platform, Linux platform, Mac platform, whatever it is. And let it be on any cloud as well. It can be an Azure, AWS, GCP, XYZ, whatever it is. DevOps will help you to fix that gaps between multiple pieces to make sure your automation is streamlined end to end, and you're able to do, or you are able to make sure the manual errors that is being done to cause your entire system to go down is eliminated, right? Once if you follow a DevOps approach, everything will be automated, everything will be audited, everything will be tracked. And one main advantage is like everything can be rollbacked as well, because it is very easy to do a rollback on DevOps rather than to do it on a manual methods, right? So that's one of the advantages of DevOps as a service. And from 3i side, we are providing an excellent service to do this DevOps on any of the clouds, as I mentioned before. And we will be giving it as a stack, as a box, right? So it's not only a cloud in a box. We will also give you DevOps as a service in a box, which covers your entire aspects of continuous integration, deployment, testing, GitOps is nothing but doing infrastructure as a code in a latest technology, right? So that's what GitOps is. And how do you do a policy as a code? As I said, governance, risk, and policies. How do you do it as a code? How do you track it? How do you monitor it? How do I do network as a code? How do I do AL, ML ops, like basically doing an AI, ML using an automated pipelines? How do I do a serverless deployment? How do I do a Kubernetes management? How do I do a release management with proper gates, with proper cab approvals or a proper release management approvals? How do I do everything in a single dashboard of monitoring? How do I do security as a code? And what is SRE, which is site reliability engineering, to determine your chaos engineering, to determine your SLAs? How do you define your RPO? How do you define your RTO? Everything is part of this 3i as a managed services, right? And this DevOps as a pack will give you this entire aspects, and whatever you want, you can pick it from there, and we will be able to help you out across without even a single blink of an eye, because we are that much capable of doing it, and we have done it for multiple clients across the world, right? Next slide, please. Meanwhile, if you guys have any questions, or if you want to ask anything about your projects or whatever the slides that I'm covering, please put it on the chat box and we will be happy to help you guys across, right? This is an real-time example of how a DevOps is going to save you a cost, a time, and the resources, right? Basically, for any organizations, right, or I would say the management side or a senior management side, they exactly need a cost savings, they need a time savings, they need a resource savings, so that they can utilize a resource in some other aspects. When you use DevOps, you will be able to get all three in one shot. Okay. How do I do it? Consider it, I'm actually doing a manual test cases with 50 test cases and 5 people to 5 days. And it's actually charging me around $2,000 for 1 week. And I have 5 people, okay, and 5 days. Now, when I try to automate it with the help of DevOps, okay, let it be any tool, let it be a JMeter tool, let it be a Selenium tool, or whatever tool it is. With the help of automation, I am sorry, I am able to do the same thing in just 2 days, and I don't need 5 people, just 2 people is enough. So what I'm getting out of it, when I do an end-to-end automation, I am able to save at least $1,600. I'm able to save 3 days. I'm able to save three resources, which is very huge for a company's perspective, right? This is just an example. But when you do it on a real time, you will be able to save, you will be able to see the real time savings of cost, time, and resources, which you can leverage for other projects or which you can utilize for other aspects as well. That is an advantage of DevOps, right? It's not only like I'm connecting or I'm just doing a CI/CD. No, there are a lot of things behind it. Why DevOps as a service in a box is very much needed for an organization perspective, right? So which will hugely help you to do a lot of savings, and we can literally see it in a day one itself when we start this DevOps journey, right? And one more thing which we provide as part of our service from 3i Infotech is like we will be doing a DevOps assessment, right? So how I showed you about your cloud journey where we do a discover, assessment, and other things. Similarly, we have a separate stack for DevOps, right? Where we try to access your environment, where we try to analyze particular aspects of automation, security, code, branching policies, and a lot of syntax policies, and how do you do this automation and what are all the strategies in place. We will analyze your entire DevOps system, and we will give you a score out of it. And depending upon that score, we will also give you recommendations on, okay, these are all the items that is missed as part of your pipeline. If you are able to follow this 1 2 3 4 5 6, then you will be able to move from DevOps into DevSecOps world. So we will be doing that free assessments, right? So if someone wants to analyze their environments for free, or if you want to analyze your score, or to find out how do I convert my DevOps into a DevSecOps kind of pipelines, please reach out to us and we will be happy to help you guys across, right? Next slide, please. This is about our SOC services, right? So as I said, as part of 3i managed services, we also help you to do a security operation services, which is, we call it as a SOC services, where it covers your end-to-end 360 of security. It covers your infrastructure security, it covers your vulnerability, VAPT testing, and it covers your network security, it covers your DDoS attacks. We will be able to do your threat hunting, we'll be able to do your impact analysis and foreign analysis and a lot of other reports and other things, right? Because we have an excellent SOC team in place within 3i Infotech, who is actually using a lot of latest technologies in world of cybersecurity. And we have done multiple VAPT analysis on a lot of applications around the world. And we will be integrating this SOC services as part of your managed services, so that as I said in the first, we will not only do a lift and shift, or we will not only say, okay, your job is completed, right? We will make sure it is safe, it is secured, and you are tightly wrapped with an automation. We are tightly wrapped with the SOC services, as well as we are tightly wrapped with your GRC services, right? Everything will be part of our managed services model. That's a guarantee that we can give it from 3i Infotech if you choose to do our managed services model, right? Please, if there is any questions or anything, feel free to type it on the chats and I'll be happy to help you guys across, right? The next slide, please. Okay, so this is our strategic partnership, as I told you about, to do this managed services. Like, so we are tying up with our strategic partner CoreStack, who is actually helping us to do this GRC, which is governance, risk, and compliance on the cloud, as well as helping us on a FinOps journey, helping us on a SecOps journey, and an automation, which is cloud ops journey, and other things as well, right? So my partner Arsalan will give you more details about this strategic partnership, why 3i has done it with CoreStack, and how CoreStack is going to help us on this complete optimization journey on the cloud as part of our managed services, right? I'm handing over to Aslan, and Aslan will be able to take you guys on a next ride of a journey.
Right? Thank you, Suru. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, so before we start the definition and giving you a high-level overview about CoreStack, how we structure it, basically, I will cover some couple of slides. And definitely, if time allows, I will definitely give you a demo of the product. And if you have any specific questions, definitely you can put in the question and answer sheet. Now, just to start with the CoreStack, so CoreStack is basically headquartered in Seattle. It's a US-based company. We have global operations across the globe. We have regional office, which is recently opened in UAE. We have technology center in India, in Chennai. We have more than 300 resources working for us. But in terms of product, CoreStack is a next generation multi-cloud governance platform. And the main objective of this overall product is to empower the enterprise to adopt governance and compliance at scale. Now, if you just understand how organizations are moving on the cloud, but definitely what we are seeing over the years, that organizations or enterprises need an overall governance framework that need to be placed. In terms of, there are organizations, there are enterprises who are using multi-cloud. They are using GCP, they are using Oracle, and even they are using AWS. But what we have noticed and what we have seen is basically all these hyperscalers have their own way of doing things. They have their own, some people are using CloudFormation, some are using Terraform, some are using Azure ARM, and definitely a lot of templates need to be used in order to optimize this whole operations. But when we say governance piece is completely missing from that, where we see a huge potential in that. And in terms of CoreStack, we definitely provide governance across FinOps, SecOps, CloudOps, and we have recently started working on the assessment as well, which is the well-architected framework assessment. Now, when we say CoreStack is a multi-cloud, definitely we support AWS, we support Microsoft Azure, we support Google Cloud, we support Oracle Cloud, and we also support VMware as well. Now, all these hyperscalers, how we work with them, basically, in case we need to integrate with them with certain permission that is required, there are a few things that we can also do. There is a read assessment or there is a read plus write, few further permission that is required. And the main objective of running this tool into your enterprise, into your platform to assess and to find that whether the infrastructure that has been deployed, it should meet the right industry best practices as well. Now, my next slide is basically giving you an overview about detailed offering that we have. We have 4 specific offerings from CoreStack, starting from CloudOps, SecOps, FinOps, and assessment. So start with the CloudOps. What we can provide you is, first of all, as you know, if you have a multi-cloud initiative, means if you are multi-cloud as initiative that has been started, if you're using Oracle Cloud, Google Cloud, Azure, and any other cloud, what CoreStack can provide is basically you can manage the overall cloud operations from the single pane of glass. So it should have a unified framework that can be placed so that you can manage this whole operations in a more efficient and effective way. Now, when we discuss about CloudOps, the first strong pillar for our offering, we definitely provide you complete service availability across all hyperscalers. In case if there's any specific outage or is there any specific service degradation, definitely you should be notified through a unified dashboard. Also, we provide in CloudOps, we definitely give you alerts and auto remediations. So we complement the native services in some areas where we fed, just like we fed this information from CloudWatch, CloudTrail, Azure Monitor. But what we do on top of it, we definitely give you recommendation. Also, we do remediation, auto remediation as well, so that you can mitigate those specific risks and optimize this operation through automation. What CoreStack can provide you is basically we have our own marketplace, which consists of automation and orchestration templates. We have more than 800 templates available into our marketplace. And the main use case will be that you can run those templates from CoreStack. One way of doing that is basically there are multiple teams are involved, and there are some opportunities that we work now that there are multiple stakeholders involved. These might be multi-cloud from the customer. There are multiple partners are involved, as well as there is multiple internal operation teams involved, and they have their own set of practice in order to manage this whole operations. For example, if somebody run a template, definitely what means the impact, what who run that at what time, and what will the changes that has been made. Is it provision? Is it deleted? Is something else? So in order to do this in silos, what CoreStack can provide you is basically you can run this whole operations unified way from CoreStack. And by running those templates, we support Chef, Puppet, Ansible, Terraform, CloudFormation, Azure ARN, and Mistral. Anything that you want, you can onboard those templates into CoreStack. In case if you need your own scripts or own templates to be run from CoreStack, that can also be possible. All those operations that you perform from CoreStack can be audited very in an easy way. You can see the time, who ran that, what account that you use, what permission that has been made, as well as what changes are also been made. So everything will be logged from CoreStack. So that will be very helpful for you for your audit purposes. Also, we integrate with specific ITSM tools in case if a specific activity, for example, if certain issue happen on your specific databases, if you need to involve your ITSM team, L1, L2, and L3, we can also integrate with ITSM. We support ServiceNow, BMC Remedy, Managing Jira, and in case if you are using any specific ITSM, we can also integrate that. Now let's move to the SecOps, which is again very, very, very important product offering that we have. In that, basically, we provide you complete visibility around threats and vulnerabilities. And in case across all hyperscalers, you can understand that there are multiple teams are involved. Maybe it's your internal security, maybe it's your partner security if they are managing your infrastructure. But definitely, as a customer side, you definitely need a holistic view. What operation has been done? Is there any specific vulnerability that has been addressed? Is there any specific thing that need to be addressed as well? So all this visibility comes from our holistic view across all hyperscalers. You will have a unified way, a single pane of glass to manage your threats and vulnerabilities. Also, CoreStack can provide you specific security governance policies. Those are policies that will run autonomous and continuous. That means you does not need to rely on some human being. It should be done automatically by the process. Once you use CoreStack, definitely what it does, it will definitely run all those governance policies. Those governance policies not related to FinOps, means security, it's related to access, it's related to vulnerability. It have many dimensions, and definitely the objective is it should be continuous and autonomous process need to be managed by CoreStack. What we also provide you from in SecOps is you can definitely also do your compliance assessment. As Subbu said that, for example, if you're using your cloud infrastructure, irrespectively any cloud that you're using, and in case if you have any specific requirement, just like if you're running a fintech application, and in that fintech application, there is a payment gateway that is required or that is involved. And in case if you have a requirement to validate whether the application that has been deployed, it should be comply with PCI DSS or not. There you can use CoreStack to do the assessment. What we do, we have specific controls defined into CoreStack, and you can do those assessments from CoreStack itself. And that really help you to proactively prepare yourself in case if you have any internal audit requirement, even if you have external audit requirement, and in case if you have any specific requirements in terms of fulfilling the best practice of compliance, you can manage through CoreStack. Not even PCI DSS, we support HIPAA, we support FedRAMP, we support NIST. And also in case if you have any specific requirement, for example, any of your customer who's being managed by local, just like Central Bank of India, in UAE, there are some companies who are being managed by DIFC, Dubai Financial Control Authorities. And in case if they have those controls, those controls can be onboarded into CoreStack so that they can also run those assessments from CoreStack. We also do DevSecOps template scanning. That means we scan each and every orchestration or automation template before you run into your cloud platform. And we have certain benchmark, and we definitely, the objective here is we identify if there is a specific loophole, is there specific issues that you may occur if you run those templates without doing the template scanning. Also, we give you access violation in case all the access violation across all hyperscalers. For example, if somebody intentionally or unintentionally elevated its permissions, for example, if I am user, I become administratively access, automatically we will get notified through the dashboard, where definitely we will give you alert that somebody from your team has an elevated permission, which should not be like the case. So there are other uses, like if somebody has an API access key, if somebody is admin privilege, if the group has been, somebody user has been added to group, somebody user has been removed from the group. So these are all access violations will come under the unified way from CoreStack. In terms of FinOps, what we provide you is basically, we definitely provide you multi-cloud visibility. Now, what we are seeing right now in the market, and many enterprises, when we, based on our discussion with them, most of the customers definitely need more detailed visibility in the cloud billing. So it's not only they need more detailed visibility that how much they are spending and where they are spending based on the tags, based on the resource group, and maybe they have their own perspective to look into that. What CoreStack can provide you is basically, we basically provide more granular information. You can use whatever perspective you have based on the reports. We have Power BI dashboard. We have a dashboard as well. We have certain cost posture as well. We definitely help you to give this more this information in more detail. When what we do in cost optimization, again, one of the most important aspect of FinOps, we definitely do right scaling. We are running our own algorithm that we basically help all these enterprises, all these hyperscalers, so that we will give you recommendation based on the right sizing. If there are any orphan resources, idle resources, is there any specific requirement of optimize the configuration? And I will show you that in the demo that how definitely we do that. Also, we provide complete visibility around tagging compliance. So what we can do is basically what you can do from CoreStack is basically you can apply tagging compliance that really help you not only enable the tagging, also enforce the tagging. That, for example, if somebody put a PROD, the actual requirement should be that every tag should be production, but some people will say PRD, some people will say PROD, and maybe some mistakes can be done. What CoreStack can definitely do that in case even the structure that we have that you can define your tagging policy from CoreStack across all hyperscalers. Also, we need to make sure that if any specific mistake happened, for example, it means of the spelling mistake or maybe the wrong information has been put on the tag, we definitely manage it through CoreStack engine. The last thing that we do is basically is an assessment. What we have recently done is basically we incorporated all the well-architect framework assessment from CoreStack from all the hyperscalers. As you know, all the hyperscalers include Azure, GCP, and AWS. They have their own well-architect framework assessments. And the main objective is to validate whether infrastructure that has been deployed is meeting the best practices or not. Now, one way of doing that is basically, yes, you can also do this from hyperscalers, but that's a manual process. You need to answer a lot of questions. You need to spend a lot of time with end customers. And in the end, definitely you have to spend a lot of time doing manually the remediation. What CoreStack can definitely help you is we incorporate all those well-architect framework controls into CoreStack. With few clicks, you can run this, you can automate this whole process, irrespectively any customer that you have. Whether they are using Azure, AWS, GCP, you can do their well-architect framework assessment from CoreStack. Not even we provide you visibility, we definitely give you violation study where we can define that there are specific violations as to the best practices, and also we give you recommendation to do auto remediate that so that it can be done automatically from CoreStack. Now the next slide is basically discussing the well-architect framework assessment. Now, what we can provide you is basically, now if you can see every hyperscalers has, just like in AWS, they have their own specific pillars, which is come under the well-architect framework. In Azure, they have different way. But in case how we do that, basically, this is CoreStack own well-architect framework assessment framework. We define, we have certain governance policies. We have more than 1,500 governance policy that we run at the back end. We are using some specific modulation engine, and that really help us to assess the existing infrastructure and definitely give you seamless and autonomous multi-cloud management from a single pane of glass. Let me show you the product demo. Just give me 1 second. Let me see. So this will be the first interface when you log into CoreStack. This is the CoreStack platform that you can see now. What you can see from here is basically it's a single pane of glass. Now, in this example that you can see, we have multiple cloud accounts. We are using AWS, we are using Azure, we are using GCP, we are VMware, and we have OCI. So we support AWS master account. You can integrate AWS, child account, master account, billing account. We support Azure EA customer. We support Azure CSP, direct CSP, pay as you go, GCP. Again, the same billing account, linked account. And also we started working with VMware so that we can do an on-premise assessment as well. So that in case if you are migrating to cloud, definitely what should be the right approach to do that. Also, we support Oracle Cloud as well, and we definitely do that. Now, if you can see the look and feel, how does CoreStack can definitely help you in order to provide overall governance. You can see we have specific pillars. This is what we call Oscar. So we start with operations, we have security, cost, access, and resources. Now, this is basically more on, let me see, just give me 1 second because sometime I need to log in. Just let me see if I'm able to show you that posture. I need to log in. give me 1 second. In the meantime, if you have any questions, please, you can put in the question section. We definitely can answer that. Now, the first thing is basically what we can provide you is basically after you onboarded your public accounts, irrespectively Azure, AWS, GCP, whatever it is, what we can provide you in resource posture is basically overall resources that you are using. For example, if I'm going to AWS, what we can show you is that there are specific resources that has been onboarded, and you can see we categorize based on compute, and also we provide information based on billable and non-billable resources. You can definitely see this category based on the resource type, where we definitely show you how many security group you have, how many shared privilege you have, how many key pairs, stack, and also you can see these accounts cannot be, these resources cannot be billable resources. So we identify with specific colors. Now, you also have a visibility around specific cloud account. In our demo account, we are using multiple AWS account, and you can see out of that what are the resources which is basically billable and which is non-billable. The most important aspect that we normally get from here is basically that we also give you visibility around whether the resources has been tagged or not. Now, in case what happened is basically majority of the customers, if they have not done as per the best practices, what we have received, what we have seen in the market, in the industry, that if the resource has not been tagged, that means there will be an issue with the proper cost allocation. So what definitely we provide you is basically we give you visibility around there are specific resources. And even if you can see that these resources are available, these are S3 availability, and you can see there are specific tags are missing, as well as you can see these tags can also be, you can also create tag policy from CoreStack. Let me show you that as well. So the tag policy can be applied from here. In this example, what you can do that, basically this is my AWS tag policy. What I'm saying is basically I need these 2 tags that need to be applicable, means this is my enforcement, all my resources. And this is, you can define the resources from CoreStack: instances, AWS, database, workspace, elastic IP service, and buckets. That means this is my specific tag. What I want to say is basically I want each of these resources should have own on a platform. And also I need these additional tags to be available in all of the resources. So you can see app name, environment, department, and cost center. Once you create this policy, how does it work? It will run 12 hours every day, almost continuously. And it will make sure that it will basically do a gap assessment. If certain resources does not have proper tagging, automatically it will give you visibility in the posture. Now, this is basically this posture will definitely give you visibility. If you can see there are resources which is tagged, these are your specific cloud account, and you can definitely see this information as a holistic view. But if you just go on the specific cloud account, you can also get this visibility from here. Now you can see these are 19 accounts, and you can see, for example, this is my virtual machines. These are the available tags that we define. And also these are the missing tags. And these tags can also apply from CoreStack. You can apply these tags from CoreStack based on your requirement. In the cost posture, how we do that, basically, this is what we call, whatever we are discussing right now is basically related to FinOps. What we provide you in the cost posture is a complete holistic view. From here, you can see this is my overall spend. Now this should be specific tenant. Now this specifically, if you are managed service partner, definitely these tenant might be your specific customers, like customer A, customer B, customer C. Or in case if you are end user, in case if you have a specific requirement, just like I want to create different tenant for AWS, I want different tenant for Oracle, I want a different tenant for Microsoft Azure, because there might be possibility that Azure being managed by a different service partner, or maybe there is another internal team who's using AWS. If you need a logical isolation, that can also be possible. Now, what you can see from here, this cost posture is basically provide you complete visibility, and the breakup is basically what is overall cost that you do. If you specifically see, if you just click on this visibility and the cost posture, what we can provide you is overall cloud spend till month of date. You can see you have we can define this on the colors, how much that you spend on the Cosmos DB, how much you spend on the storage, how much you spend on the databases. And you can see that this is basically not even that we provide you based on the resource group. You can define this information so that apply and close, so that you will get this information based on the resource group as well. You can see from it now I have a resource group, I can define it. And the same practice can also be done based on the tags as well, and why it is important. And again, as I discussed in my last section, That still $369 that we are consuming in our billing has not been tagged, and that's an open cost that we have. That means there is no proper cost allocation has been done. And this particular number of resources are tagged. That means $1,600, whatever we are spending overall on a month, all the resources have been tagged properly. Now these tags can be based on the resources, maybe on the product category, maybe on the application side, whatever requirement they have. Not even that, even if I go back, even if I go to the product category, we can also provide you cost variance. You have an option to do filter from here, and this filter will definitely give you a couple of months. Just to give you an example, what we can provide you is basically cost comparison between 2 months. If you can see, this is my specific cloud account, Azure Cosmos DB. In the month of July, I have spent $2,200. In the month of June, I have spent $1,000. And not even that, we also give you visibility around, just like there is $1,000 increment as compared to month of July. So, and also if you want a percentage, you can also get that percentage that for this as well. So you can say there is a 2.47 increment in terms of your billing, which you are spending as compared to the last month. So in that case, you can also do that. We have many reports as well, which you definitely you can use it. I will show you that as well. Just give me 1 second. So we have comprehensive reports like that. We have many reports which is available from CoreStack. These are Power BI dashboard reports where definitely you can basically get this information. Just to give you an example, this is basically overall cloud category, how much we're spending on SQL in terms of percentage. This is basically cost comparison. Also, you have a visibility around what is your top increased cost on based on the product category, what is the decrease. Also, you definitely get it that this is basically more on a subscription based on the monthly cost, and you can see this is basically the detail that we have provided you. Not even that, we have many reports available. In the meantime, I will show you a number of reports that we have. The reports are not mostly related to cost. We have a lot of reports which is basically more on the operation side. For example, in case if you need a visibility around what are the activities that is happening in your overall cloud AWS account, that is basically also possible from CoreStack. Not even that, in the meantime, you can see from here, this is basically an AWS activity report. As you know that there are multiple activities that is happening, provision, deletion, update, whatever it is. What CoreStack can provide you is basically, we definitely give you graphical view, as well as in case if you have any specific investigation, if you want to track some the specific action that has been done, you can definitely get this detail from CoreStack. Now, other than that, what we also have a specific policies that we run at the back end. Those policies are required to do optimization as well. Now, in terms of optimization, how we do that, we definitely give you based on the right sizing. We definitely do an optimized configuration. We identify manage orphan resources, manage idle resources. In terms of right sizing, we definitely provide you based on that. This is GCP. Let me go back to the AWS example. So you can see we definitely give you recommendation. This is your current SKU, and what we're recommending that move to the T3 micro. If you want to get it more detailed, you can get this information in a more granular manner. Similarly, we identify manage orphan resources. And how we do that is basically once we integrate your cloud account, there are few settings that we need to do. It's very simple. If you just go to the account governance, with few steps, within 5 to 10 minutes, we can onboard your specific cloud accounts. All the details are available so you can see add new single account. These are the things that you can do for example, if your Azure account, if this is a simple Azure account, CSP Direct, if this is the EA customer for AWS, and then definitely by clicking these things, you can easily onboard your specific cloud accounts. Other than that, we also give you visibility on the reserve instances as well. You can definitely see reserve optimization rate based on that. So in case if you are using any reserve instances, or even if you are using your infrastructure, and if there is a requirement to validate all the current infrastructure to convert into NARI, we definitely give you visibility around that. For example, this is my specific subscription. This SQL instance can be converted into Azure MySQL general purpose. And you can see this will really help us to reduce 2.84 overall monthly billing out of that. So the number of SKUs is 6 is required. Also, we give you visibility. Now we support Cosmos DB, MariaDB, Postgre, Mario, Cosmos, whatever it is. In term of current reservation, we definitely give you visibility around whatever your current reserve instances are. For example, we definitely provide you the expiry date. We also give you the purchase date, what is basically the reservation type, and also what is basically the number of hours that has been used. Or every percentage, you can see 94.12. And also we can say 2 hours is unused out of 286. So this detail is basically we provide from that. In the security posture, because we does not have much time, I want to cover most of the things in this high level demo. In the security posture, what we provide you, if you can see all the hyperscalers, security posture can be managed with a unified framework, with a single pane of glass to manage overall. We definitely give you visibility around threats, vulnerabilities, as well as we have our own governance policies. This is what we call guardrails. Now, we complement the native services in AWS like CloudWatch, CloudTrail. For security purpose, we use AWS Inspector, AWS Guard Duty. And in that case, basically, we discover this information and put it visible. But what we value add that we provide, we restructure this information so that you can definitely understand that there are threats by resource type, threats by type, threats by intent. Also, you can see specific things. You have an option to select specific cloud account. We definitely give you vulnerabilities information. Not even that, if you click here, you have an option to see what are the specific high vulnerabilities. When you click on these vulnerabilities, you can definitely see there are specific violation, and even you can definitely take an action on this. So there are medium, and similarly, you can do the same thing in the guardrails. Now, what are basically the guardrails? Guardrails are basically our own policies that we run from CoreStack, and these policies basically a CoreStack own engine that we run at the back end, and these policies are basically defined into security, cost, operation, access, and resource. So whatever optimization that we do, whatever security posture that I've showed you, these governance policies will run at the back end autonomously. We have 1,600 policies, and if you can see the classification, some are related to cost. If I segregate based on the security, and then you does not need to. You can also create your own governance policy that you require. But as of now, those 1,600 policies are already available in the marketplace, and then these can be run into the platform. The last point which I want to cover is basically the security standard that we support. In case if you have any of your requirement, if you want to run a security assessment for your infrastructure, if you want to validate whether the infrastructure that we are running on the cloud, whether it's comply with the best standard practice, we support well-architected framework assessment. We support AWS Lens well-architected framework. We support information security, Microsoft Azure. We support AWS. We support GDPR, HIPAA, ISO, PCI, DSS, NIST, SOC 2. Also, if you have any specific standard that you want to upload, we can also support that so that you can also create your own standard based on that. How we do the posture? Once you select that specific compliance assessment that you want to test, definitely we provide you complete visibility around that. Now, for example, this is my specific Azure. What you can see, these are my specific cloud accounts. These are the specific standard terminology that we have run. If I go to this particular one, what we can show you right now is basically this specific cloud account is comply 52.69%. You have an option to based on the resource type. Means if you go to the policy count, it will definitely show you that under the app subscription, there are still violations. That means there are specific areas which definitely need to be complied. Not even that, we can also give you the control trend. That means when was the last assessment was done, what is the overall story. That means there are still violations, there are still 61, and that need to be fixed. Also, not even that, whatever we are showing you here, based on the resource type, we definitely give you more further information on that. So you can see there are specific violation under that. And if you go to this, if you go to the violation, these are the specific violation. And then this is basically application performance monitoring, communication to Azure PaaS service secure XYZ. And once you click here, it will definitely give you more about this policy details. This policy audit and app service is not configured to use as a virtual network endpoint. So in that case, basically, I just have to stop here because we have to take some questions. We definitely do a POV in case if you want to discuss in more detail, we can arrange more detailed session with you. We can give you more comprehensive demo. In case if you want to test the CoreStack into your platform in any of the hyperscalers, we can also offer you free proof of value. This is a 2 week of engagements. You can reach out to me or Subbu. We will definitely share the presentation, what we will sharing today, and we have certain email addresses here. Thank you.
Okay, Aslan, there is a question from one of the gentlemen, Anup. He was asking about your product licensing. So can you just give maybe like a minute about how this licensing of CoreStack works?
Sure. So how does our product, how our license works is basically, we basically charge certain percentage of your overall cloud billing. For example, if you have Microsoft Azure and if you are spending $10,000 monthly, then definitely we charge certain percentage of that to give you. We have 3 modules. We have SecOps, we have FinOps, we have CloudOps, and each module has certain percentage on that. So, for example, if a customer take one module, definitely there is certain percentage. But let's say if customer want all these modules to be tested as well as they want to use it, then definitely there will be discount as a cumulative cost price that can be offered. Definitely those discussions can be done by our sales team. If you have any requirement, please reach out to us. I will definitely connect to my sales team. We can definitely discuss this further. Thank you.
Okay, great. I think, guys, so I think this will be a very good session for you guys. Like, I think we didn't waste your 1 hour of time. We'll be able to get the great face of how a managed services of 3i Infotech along with our strategic partner of CoreStack, how it works as a combined box, right? So as we discussed about, so feel free to reach out to us for any of the assessments or DevOps or cloud or CoreStack or whatever it is. We'll be happy to help you guys across, right? So thank you for your time once again, and feel free to ask any questions, and we'll be happy to help you guys across.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for your time. Thank you. Appreciate it.